Ever hear about the glitz and glam of Toronto and Vancouver? Cool cities, no doubt, but man, the costs they don't tell you about. Today, let's chat about what it's really like to live in Canada, a place without squeezing into tiny apartments or choosing between a car and, well, eating. Let's talk about Saskatoon, a place where houses feel like homes, driving is a regular part of life, and you won't faint seeing your grocery bill. Plus the jobs, solid, without that big city stress. And here's a thought. Maybe Saskatoon is the Canadian dream and the rest are just dreaming. What do you think? Let's dive in. Hit me up in the comments with your 2 cents. The Saskatchewan government has actually highlighted Saskatchewan as the most affordable province in the country. And we can back that up statistically, but they have put measures out to make sure that they keep costs low here in our province.
The Saskatchewan government claims this is the most affordable province in Canada. Let's break that down. The Finance Department combined housing costs in Regina with provincial utilities and taxes. It compared that total to other Canadian cities. Saskatchewan is the most affordable province for home-owning families of 4 who make more than $75,000 a year. It's the second most affordable province for single renters who make at least $40,000.
Late this afternoon, Premier Scott Moe announced a $500 affordability tax credit check.
Well, the Premier says everyone in the province aged 18 years and older will receive the $500 check this fall.
More people are working, exports are up, and the province's finances are improving much faster than expected.
We do have a balanced lifestyle here in Saskatoon, which offers a great opportunity to have disposable income for leisure and a great quality of life. It's an affordable place to live, but it's also a major city. I know I've said that Saskatchewan is really just a big small town, but you do get the best of both worlds here. Based on my research, here is what people do in other major Canadian cities to make sure that they can still afford the higher cost of living while the average incomes don't really go up when you look across Canada. And we don't have these problems here in Saskatoon, at least not to the same degree. Shared living arrangements. It's almost a requirement in the major cities like Toronto and Vancouver to house hack or rent by the room, as an example. Public transportation. It's not really a big thing here in Saskatoon, but in Toronto and Vancouver, you do see people that totally just ditch their car altogether and use the city transport just to get around. Living a frugal lifestyle. I don't know about you, but if I have to cut out my cappuccino every single day just to get by, I'm not the happiest person in town. Government assistance. You do realize that if people can't afford housing, then there are a lot of times where they rely on the government for that supplemental housing income. And grabbing a side gig. Now don't get me wrong, I'm all for having a side hustle, but if you need to have 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet, not cool. And the suburbs. You will find people in those major centers that try to find something with a little bit more affordability just outside of town. But in those big cities, I can only imagine what it would be like driving an hour or sometimes 2 hours through traffic just to simply get to work for your commute. And you know what's the first to take a hit? Your vacations, eating out, and all of the other luxuries that we enjoy here in Canada. If you can't afford that with your disposable income, either you'll dig your hole into debt or you just simply cut out all the fun stuff. In Vancouver, as an example, a 2-bedroom rental is going for around $3,900 a month. In Toronto, a 2-bedroom rental is around $3,400 a month. In Saskatoon, the average rent for a 2-bedroom is only around $1,250. And I'm not just picking on Toronto and Vancouver here. If I look at Halifax, you're looking at about $2,250 for monthly rent. Montreal is about $2,260. Calgary is about $2,100. And Winnipeg is about $1,630, which still puts Saskatoon among the most affordable places to live. Now let's look at housing prices. In Canada, the average house price was around $716,000 as of April of 2023. In Saskatoon, the average house price was about $381,900 in September of 2023. In Vancouver, the average house price is $1.297, $1.3 million. And if you isolate single family homes, The average price is over $2 million, close to $2.1 million. In Toronto, the average price is about $1.11 million. And then if you isolate single family properties, it's about $1.44 million. So just to put that into perspective, if you were going to buy a single family property as a first-time home buyer in Saskatoon for $380,000, you would need $19,000 for a down payment at 5% down. If you were going to buy a property for $2 million, even with only 5% down, you would still need $108,000 for a down payment. And your monthly mortgage payment based at today's rates, around 5.74% on a $2 million mortgage, would be about $15,950 a month. In Saskatoon, based on that same example, your mortgage would be around $361,000. Your payment would be about $28.86 per month. Even at $1 million for your mortgage, you'd still be around $79.70 in dollars per month that you need to pay for that mortgage. Surprisingly though, if we look at $1 million property in Saskatoon or Vancouver or Toronto, in Saskatoon your property taxes would be around $8,500. In Toronto your property taxes would be around $6,500. And in Vancouver your property taxes would be around $2,800. Well, why is this? I think part of it is the fact that there's less taxpayers here in Saskatchewan, and we still do need infrastructure, with just the population is part of the factor. But another part of the factor is, for $1 million in Saskatoon, you can get a 2,000 square foot brand new bungalow with a 20-minute commute to downtown on close to 2 acres. In Vancouver or Toronto, you might get a 950 square foot apartment style condo with 2 beds, 2 baths, and your condo fees could easily be $590 a month all the way up to $1,300 a month for condo fees in some areas. The median household income in Saskatoon was reported in 2020 around $77,500. In 2023, the average incomes all the way across the country were anywhere between $60,000 and $120,000. As of the 2016 census, Vancouver was reported around $65,000 and Toronto was around $65,000 as well. I know that's old data in 2016, but let's just agree that the average incomes across Canada are really very close to the same, if not favorable to Saskatoon compared to other areas. So why would you move to Saskatoon? People joke about that all the time. Why would I? Well, it is a terrible place to endure during the winter time, but it's also a very difficult place to leave. For my viewers that are in Saskatoon and in Saskatchewan, you know exactly what I mean. It might be a tough place to endure in the winter, but it is a great place to call home. And if you're looking at moving to Saskatoon, feel free to reach out. My phone number and email is in the comments below, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on this video next.